fucking clue.
My headphones not on, okay? They're not on.
I just gotta turn them up.
I don't even know if I want to use my headphones. Hello, hello, hello.
You good?
Yep. Hello, hello. All right, we rest to go. For those of you popping in the room, we're about to get started.
Is there a way that I can mute this? No. All right. All right, welcome to Uncle Legend's Corner. I'll be your host, Uncle Legend, and with me as always is my beautiful co-host, Call Girl 6, better known as Fox.
Hey, y'all.
What's
It's
happening?
Wednesday.
It is Wednesday.
It's Wednesday. Look, so we're going to let you guys know right off the bat. We will not have a podcast on Sunday because we're supposed to be gone. Okay.
Never let them know your next move.
They don't know where.
We could do.
No, I knew you was. I knew you was gonna say.
Let's do it.
No, I just wanted to enjoy ourselves, and that's it. Okay, we're not doing it on the road or anything. So, guys, today is Wednesday.
I be want to bring y'all content. You see what Fox be doing? Hating ass Fox.
Maybe we could do it when we go back about what happened, what we seen, or something.
Yeah, we probably had a lot of shit to talk about.
Anyway, so it was therapy day for me today.
Oof.
You guys know. So I go to therapy on Wednesdays because I'm crazy. No, that's not why. I go because I want to be a better person, right? So, and a better person in my relationship here. So anyway, she posed a question to me when I was talking about my past, and she asked me about my previous marriage, and she asked me, do I think that was a relationship of convenience or was it a relationship of love? And I was stumped. I was like, wait, what do you mean? I had no clue. I was like, I didn't know. I really didn't know how to answer that question. I could only tell her how I was feeling at the time and what I thought at the time versus what I think now. But nothing about was it convenient for me or was it really love for me? Because I did feel like maybe if it wasn't love then, it grew into it for me, I would say. And knowing his personality, more than likely for him too. But I really wasn't sure. So I don't know. Do we even know what is love versus convenience when we're in a relationship? When you're knee deep in it and whatever's going on around you.
What do we
can
consider
tell the difference?
convenience?
What would be convenient to you in a exactly what would be considered a
If you
convenience
consider-
relationship?
If you consider being in a relationship to be close to the kids, then yeah. then yeah, I've been in a relationship for convenience.
So no kids at the time. It grew into all of that, but no kids. Then what? How do we know what's the difference between convenience and then a relationship of convenience?
I think ultimately what people were shooting for is the same thing. Like I think it's the same thing like when women say they want independence and everything else. I really think all of that is just being able to be like the best place in love to be is like, I don't need you for any other extra shit. Like I don't need you because I'm not going to eat without you. I don't need you because I ain't going to get no ass without you. I don't need you for any of those reasons. It's like I can do without you, but because I love you and I want you, then so much, like in that case, that's when I think it's more healthy. You know what I'm saying?
But
like,
so you're saying like, so with that, is it love though, or is it?
I think it is love, because when you don't need a person, then it's like the only thing in the back of your head is that I don't want to lose you. Not, I don't want to pay the fucking rent. I don't want to goddamn do this. I don't want to have to cook by myself. I don't want to have my kids go away. I don't want to have to do anything. What you mean who takes out the trash, Chris? You know who take the trash out around here.
I don't take out no trash, okay?
God
I haven't in years and don't want to start. So.
You don't want your independence?
Listen, no, I don't want. I want to be I want to be dependent on you for trash.
I don't think
and other things.
So like I think it's kind of one of them things, right? Like you're not gonna stay in this relationship because you don't want to take the trash out. I think the thing that people are really looking for is like not codependency and all this other shit, but what you're truly looking for is interdependency, right?
What do you mean by interdependency?
So interdependency is when you're actually, it's up to like we're not like depending on each other to the point where it's like, oh my God, I'm going to die without this, that, or the third, right? It's more of a like understanding, like I'm saying, you're there because you want to be, right? You're there because you want to be, not because you want to because you need to be, not because you have to be, right?
Well, that's kind of similar to, if you're saying interdependence, that's kind of like we need each other, like a codependency type thing.
No, because like codependency to me is just like, codependency is kind of like, I need you. It's like how some animals are, like with parasites. Like a parasite is dependent upon, like when you think of like some of those big fish out there, they got like the parasite who's dependent on them for food, and they're dependent on the parasite to clean them. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They can't do it without each other. We can do it without each other. We just choose to do it with each other. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's not one of them things where it's like when dudes be hobosexual, that's a bad version of dependence. You know what I mean? You got them hobosexual dudes. It's like, damn, I ain't got no place to stay. All I got is my Xbox, and my girl kicked me out. I'm in bad shape. You know what I'm saying? It's like that. That's,
go throw some dick on him.
Yeah, let me go take this dick off the charger from being broke all day. You know what I'm saying? Like that's dependency, right? When a woman has nothing, right? She has nothing, does nothing, and then she just decides like she just completely not. And I'm not talking about in the case where like a man's leading and providing for her, when it's just one of them cases where it's like, I ain't got shit. This dude got money, so I'm gonna fuck with him. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of those relationships where it's like a convenience or dependency thing, it starts as that. I really think it
starts as what?
I think it starts in the dependency, like a kind of what was the word you used earlier?
Codependency?
Okay. No, convenience. Like I think it starts as convenient because it's like relationships that's convenient. It's like, what's convenient? It's like, I don't want to go out here to get no ass and go through the hassle. I'm busy or something like that. So it's like, I'm gonna deal with you because you live next door. You know what I'm saying? Then it's like, that's one of those like, all right, I'm fucking with you for convenience. If I had better options, I wouldn't fuck with you. If I see some greener grass, I'm not fucking with you. But since you're right here, and I can go ahead and crack cheeks, it's like I'm gonna crack cheeks here because it costs me a lot less. Everything else.
Have you ever been in a relationship with convenience though?
I was trying to think about it and thinking of a relationship. I really think every relationship for me has been fucking inconvenient. Like, I don't know, man. Like, as a dude, if you got your shit together, it's more of an inconvenient thing. Because it's kind of like, it's inconvenient because now it's like, I got to be fucking somewhat responsible. I mean, I got to be somewhat responsible. I got to be somewhat kind of like report where I'm at and shit like that. You know what I mean? A lot of dudes, I don't tell my woman nothing. It's like, if you were a woman and you just move and don't tell her nothing, it's like, that's kind of like, I don't feel as though that's a respect thing. I don't mean you got to tell like who gonna be there, how long you gonna be out, what you wearing, this and that. Who is such and such? Now get the fuck out of my face. Like that's wild. But I feel as though when you get to that point, like that's bad, right? Like if you got to
Yeah.
explain all that, but you should be explaining, right? So relationships, I don't know if it's just a me thing or men in general, but like if you a dude and you got your shit together, a relationship is more of like an inconvenience thing because we find ourselves in a point where I think like I can't tell you how women show love because I ain't a woman. I can tell you what like I've been taught and what I learned, but men, we show love through sacrifice. Like all the things that we naturally want to do and everything else we want, we sacrifice majority of that to show our love.
Okay.
A lot of the things that we want to do outside of you, not to say we don't want to do things with you, but we sacrifice a lot of the things that we want to do outside of you to be with you, to maintain a healthy relationship because we value you so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I can't speak for men because I'm not a man, obviously. So when I'm talking about people when they get into relationships, right? So I'm not talking about that. When you're already in that relationship, how do you know when it's turned into convenience? So I was talking to her, and I felt when I had to think back of like the reasons why I was with him at this time. You know, he's an older guy or whatever, so why? And I felt like, well, first of all, it was protection. I was very young, out on my own. So I felt protected when I was with him because a lot of people, you know, he was respected out there in the streets, you know? So I didn't have to worry about that. I felt protected. I felt like I could trust him. So he had my best intentions at heart. It felt like to me at the time. And so I would say,
what's convenient about that?
Huh?
What's convenient about that? Because
because I was out on my own at a very young age, and so that was convenient. Okay, well, he likes me. He wants to protect me. He's reputable out there in the streets. And
I don't know, because a lot of times when I think convenience, I think about convenience like anything else, where it's like convenience isn't necessarily the best deal, right? Like when you think about when you pay the price of convenience, right? Like when you Instacart to the house, that's convenient. But you're paying for that price of convenience. It's not the best deal. It's not the best quality because some dickhead with a GED is trying to find your shit off a shelf or something like that who, you know what I mean? And not to say that all dickheads with GEDs can't read, but anyway, the dudes who do Instacart seem not to be able to. So you do Instacart, it's not the best deal. So it seemed like convenience to me is always like a trade-off, right? It's like that old saying where they like, you know, it's three ways to do things. You can have good, you can have fast, or you can have cheap. You can have any one of those two things. So you're like, well, I want it good and fast. Well, then it ain't going to be cheap. You know what I'm saying? Well, I want it good and cheap. Well, it ain't going to be fast. You know what I'm saying? Well, I want it cheap and fast. Well, it ain't going to be good. You know what I mean? So it's always a trade-off. And I feel like with convenience, it's a trade-off, right? And so it's how many things that you really think of as like convenient, right? Like messing with, like I think about like from men, it usually come from either it's a convenience thing, like when they in a relationship and they find themselves like if they fall off and they don't want to be in a relationship. You know, maybe that's the thing. Like they fall off and they don't want to be they don't want to be in a relationship, but it's like I'm in a shitty situation, so I got to stay here. And men and women have both been in that type of situation where I don't know, like you know what I mean, where it's like, well, shit, I can't afford to leave this person or something like that. So if we count like that as convenience, which is more of a dependency thing. Yeah,
that would be. It's convenient right now. I need this right now for whatever the reason is. You know, under other circumstances, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, I don't think outside of kids, I don't think I can't think of a time that I've been in that situation outside of kids because it's just like, why is this convenient for me? Because at the end of the day, it's just like up until I met you, I have not met a woman who has brought intangibles in my life that I don't want to lose, right? So before, it was just kind of one of the things where it's like, damn, it sucks because she was bad, you know what I'm saying? Or she did this or she could do that or something like that. But it was never nothing where it's like,
good girls 1, bad bitches 0.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's never one of them things where it's like, oh, she got the, you know what I mean? The Gawk 3000 ain't going to make me stay, right? It's like, I'll have fun finding the next Gawk 3000, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like, I'm going to stay because it is. Because I haven't been in a situation financially where it was just like, oh, I really need this. I really need that. I lied. I just lied.
What?
So when I was a real junior in the military, they fucked my pay up, right? So I used to have to fight in these things they used to call smokers. And I would fight in those, and basically I'd go in there, act like I can't fight, do some dumb shit, and then go and beat the shit out of somebody, right? And I started messing with this, came back, had some more issues, this and that. Me and my son's mother tried to work some things out. That was a fucking, That was a failed experiment. And then my oldest boy, his mom, and then I met this woman. She was a lawyer, and just that was convenient because she lived in the apartments that I lived in. She wanted to blow money, do this and that, and it was just like that shit was just that was convenient. That's when I was like, all right, I'm winning. You know what I'm saying? It's like it cost me nothing. It was up to like, oh, you want to pay? Well, I want to spoil you. I want to do this and that. It's like, all right, sure. I'm young, you know what I mean? I ain't doing nothing. I'm just fucking. I ain't doing nothing but just piping shit down. So it's like, yeah, I'll pipe it down and then say some smooth shit, slide off over here, go chill with some girl I do like who broke. You know what I'm saying? Go chill with this, you know what I mean? Dope, cute, broke girl, and then go home to mama. You know what I'm saying? Like go home to mama and make sure, well, this shit taken care of, this and that, da da da. And I was keeping my little E3 pay and shit like that together. So I would say in that case, it was a convenience because it's just like, well, I felt like how women do. It's like, well, I spend my money. If she want to spend her money and do this and that. But we had she had to understand it. It wasn't like like I was dragging her along.
Mm-hmm. How old was she?
How old was I? I had to be about 21. So she was
probably a young strapping lad.
Yeah. So I was about 21. So she had to be every bit of 40 something. Like she was a partner at a law firm. I'm telling you right now. Boy, I'm telling you right now.
Twice your age.
I almost sent her ass in the menopause or something. Like, boy, I was beating the brakes off that shit. But the thing that was convenient about it was she was just like, look, I know you want to, and it was just convenient because it was like, yeah, I know you want to see other girls. I just don't want you to be in a real relationship with them. Like, go do your thing, this and that. Don't bring me nothing that you ain't leave here with. And then just make sure you got something in the tank for me when you come home. Make sure you clean. Make sure you come to me with something with me in the tank when you come home. I'm like, yes, ma'am. Run out here, run these streets.
That's good for you.
That shit wild convenient. It was convenient until she had bought me a 745.
And what happened?
Took that motherfucker back.
Because you wouldn't get. What did she want?
She wanted a bitch not to be in my car when she saw me riding somewhere.
Oh.
That's what she wanted. She wanted someone not to be in my fucking car, and I'm talking about I'm in there riding around, cruising. You know what I'm saying? Doing my damn thing. Like
and she looking at you passing by like this.
No, better.
What?
Pull up at the red light.
Oh wow.
Pull up at the red light. I grab
old. At each other.
Hey, I'm talking about I'm looking at her, looking at me, looking at her, looking at me. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I done told old girl knew what time it was. I'm up like, hey, look, that's the sugar mama. Get your ass down. Big ass weave all in the way.
She already seen that shit pulling up. What you mean?
Hey, man, you got to try.
Try what?
Yeah. Hey,
and
last ditch effort.
What happened? How much time elapsed from the time she seen you and the time you had to see her again?
Well, I mean, I had to see her when the police pulled me over and told me my car was stolen.
Oh my God.
They pulled my ass over. I'm like, hey, how y'all doing this? And they're like, this your car? I'm like, it's my girlfriend. They like, nah. She said, yeah, nah. This car reported stolen. I'm like, whole mix up, this and that. You know what I mean? So she just put me through the hassle. She ain't actually get me locked up and shit like that. Like obviously she knew the law better than me, being a partner at a law firm. And yeah, she gave. I had a rough fucking week or two. And she made sure that I felt warm. So she was like, I told you that I don't want to see that shit. Like she came, she's like, I told you I don't want to see that shit. Like I'm like, man, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what the fuck you do all that for? I told you I didn't want to see that shit. I'm like, I didn't know you was going to be going that way. She like, why is the bitch so comfortable in the car that I bought you? I'm like, you said all this stuff. She's like, and that was before. And you know how shit changed. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm like, you said you was cool with this and that. We was keeping it a buck, blah, blah, blah. She was like, nope, you shouldn't have been fucking me like that if you wanted to keep it that way. I was trying to keep my job.
It changes things.
You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to keep my job. I wasn't trying to get an upgrade. I wasn't trying to get promoted.
You broke the agreement, though.
I didn't break the agreement.
See that shit.
Who knew I was gonna pull up?
Go somewhere on the other side of town, then.
And the windows tinted. She was on the window like Garfield. Like her goddamn face pressed up against the window. She's Trinidadian too. Trinidadian or something.
Oh my goodness! Well,
she was like, I was gonna run you off the road if that damn deductible wasn't $1,000.
I'm sure she could pay $1,000.
I mean, she was fiscally conservative besides tricking on me, but But yeah, I guess that for me, yeah, that was a convenience thing because it's like when you young, especially when I was young, it's like, what do I have to lose? You know what I'm saying? It was like you taking care of this, that, and the third. I ain't really got to worry about shit. I can go do my thing, but you know how that shit changed. Everybody cool with the situationship until the situation changed.
Turns, yeah.
So I find but entering that, I knew what I was into from the get go. You know what I'm saying? I think the only thing is that she moved the goalposts and I was still playing the same old game. In the words
Did she really move the goalpost though? Did she really move the goalpost?
I didn't want to see who was supposed to know that I was gonna pull up on her. I wasn't even in the same city that we lived in.
No, well, that's why I said why you didn't go somewhere else.
I wasn't in the same city that I lived in.
Around where her office is at.
Or where her office was. Her office was in in Virginia Beach. No, her office was in Virginia Beach. We lived in Norfolk. I was in Portsmouth in the 7 cities in Virginia. So if anybody who know the area, that's where I was. I'm in Portsmouth. Riding through the hood. In fact, the question really is, what was her ass doing out here in the hood?
Working? She probably went to go see a client.
What?
She probably went to go see a client.
She was probably cheating on me.
Or she probably, now she cheating on you.
She was cheating on me, fucking hood.
Cheating on you now. You got caught
broke
with
my
some
heart.
girl in her car. Okay.
She had the biggest weave ever, boy. She had the big, she had like the big, like the shit that looked like Serena Williams shit, but it was can't hide that shit, man.
No, you can't.
Can't hide that shit. I'm talking about she was fucking knees to chest bent over, her hair still in the window. I'm just over there like, hey, 10-2. First time I drove 10-2 since the goddamn driver's test of 16. 10-2. She on my ass. All right, she start hitting my phone. I'm like, oh. Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
She like, you gonna answer the phone? So I'm like, nah, she'll be like, well, at that point, it's like, jig is up. I might as well go ahead and enjoy myself in the movie, crack some cheese. Ain't no point in coming back with all that pent up frustration.
So you came back later then?
Yeah, it give you some time to cool off.
You came back after the police pulled you over? Still in a stolen car?
No, that was the next day. She ain't even called the police on me that day.
Oh.
She called the police on me the following day or two or something like that. She ain't even call. I came back. I'm like, I went to my apartment, looking up at her apartment. Don't know why. And then she was like, and then the crazy shit about it, she's like, you know what? She like, I just bought us a house and this, that, and the third, and da-da-da-da. I'm like, I was wondering why you got all this money to stay in these goddamn apartments. Because them apartments.
That was my first thing when you was like, she was staying in the same apartments. I'm like, she's partnering at a law firm? Like,
yeah, partnering at a law
what
firm.
kind of apartments did you
because
live in?
she just like the way she grew up. Because I asked her, I'm like, yo, you make all this money, why you stay here? Because them apartments I moved into, it was a 2-bedroom, and it was $550. That shit came with raid and a gun. Like, them apartments was trash. And so I'm like, why the fuck do you stay here? And she was like, because it's cheap. Don't nobody bother me here, this and that, da-da-da. And she like, and you know what I mean, use a term that was similar to fiscally conservative, but just like she like, I watch my money. So I'm like, okay.
Fucking frugal.
Yeah, cheap as fuck.
Frugal.
But she wasn't cheap when it came down to me. Your boy was out here in bathing apes and shit. Like, hey, thanks, baby. My first pair of bathing apes, she bought them for me. Hey.
That's funny. That's crazy. I wonder what she's doing now. Is she married now?
I don't know.
You ever think she follow you on social media? Well, if she was 40 at that time. So right now.
So she was 40 something. She was 40 something at that time. So you talk about this is more than 15 years ago. I don't know. There's some 50 something year olds out there that's still checking for me. So, you know, some old hoes still checking. So
some old hoes.
Some old hoes still checking, boy. But I know it is what it is. I don't know. Well, like, especially then with the funny thing about it is like it's funny because you used to like to date older men. And I used to deal with older women. And
you see what's up with my post.
I saw your post.
Okay.
Well, let me bring up that post. Bring up that post that you got and let me read that shit. Fox made this post and I saw this shit while I was at work, not doing my fucking job apparently, but
you don't do his job.
Yeah. Fox said this is what Fox said on social media. She said, I used to like to date older men. But then I realized I needed someone who understands that sometimes the theme songs of Darkwing Duck, Full House, Chip and Dale, and Doug banging on a trash can get stuck in my head and I got to sing it. Old head, don't judge me. Help me finish singing that shit so we can move on with our day.
Exactly, because it's going to stay in your head until you sing the entire thing.
I'm going to tell you that's
unless you get a chorus going. Like, that's it.
I'm going to tell you that's one of the beautiful things about dealing with somebody your age because I never really fuck with like young girls or nothing. but I usually always fuck with women that was older than me. And it was really just because, like, dealing with older women, they kind of already know what they want, and you can peel through the bullshit faster, right? Like, older women, when you're young, you deal with them, they kind of, like, try to take this, like, approach of, like, oh, well, he young, maybe this and that, da-da-da-da. But if you realize, like, I ain't your average young boy, you know what I'm saying? So it's like all that extra shit that they talking, it's like, all right, yeah, Milton Bradley right here. I got all that game you talking about. So, I used to like it because it's like you cut through the bullshit because they're already stuck in their ways. So you just see, like, can I fit into this? Can I play Twister with this? Nope, I can't do that move. I'm out. Yeah. Like, you ain't even got to waste your time, like, sitting there with that whole, like, oh, because, you know, you'll tell a girl what you like, and it's the same shit that you said about dating men where you tell them what they like, and then they're like, chameleon time.
Yeah, try to be that. But not for long.
Yeah. But it's like, yeah, not for long. You're right with that. I mean, ain't nobody that good of a liar. But yeah, so I used to always be about dating older women. But just like you said, it's like one time when I don't know how we started a whole banging on the trash can symphony. I was in the shower.
Oh yeah.
I was in the shower and I was like strumming on the trash can, and you was like banging on the street light. Like we just in there. One little voice is calling me. I'm in the shower and shit. You over there doing your hair or something. I'm in there with the shower open, floor all wet, just like pork chop running around, Rocky running around like pork chop.
Yeah, it's fun. So I realized then, not then, but you know, I realized before then.
Yeah, clarify that shit.
It was like, stop. It was more so like, I enjoy being silly around you. Yeah. You know, when I was with the older men, I couldn't do that. I couldn't. It was always this pressure to be poised and.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, it's a level.
Like, oh, that's immature. Fuck you, okay? With your old ass, I'm done.
But I think it's a level. It's a level of it too. Like when you older, right? Like the shit that I joke about. Like for instance, I come up and play with you, and you don't be fucking feeling like it. Yeah. Like I come up and play because I'm a fucking play fiend. Right. But just imagine how annoying that shit would be if I didn't have the maturity to pull up when it's time to pull up and to keep going when it's time to keep going. Like you have an attitude and I come up on you or something like that. And then depending on what your attitude is like I'm wise enough to know like, all right, do I go ahead and grab her ass or do I back off? Like I know I'll be like, all right, Fox, you don't love me no more? Okay. Walk off. And then other times I'll be like, man, come here, girl. You know what I'm saying? And that comes with like when you're young, like you had to met me at like if I was 21 right now dating you at this age, I'd be like, still playing, you fuck around and be squared up with me like, hey, easy, man.
Fighting right now.
You fighting. So I think it's something to be said about that. It's kind of like about dating why a lot of people like to date within a race because it's something about like it's some things that
what you have in common.
Like, yeah, it's something about like with race and age, which I understand race is a made up concept, blah blah blah. For the sake and purpose of what we consider race, we know, but. For the sake of what we consider race is like if you grew up like we grew up in very similar conditions, just a 1,000 miles away from each other. You know what I mean? About probably like 1,500 miles from each other, really. But you know what I mean? You in South Florida and I'm in Jersey, and we living in very similar conditions, very similar cultures, same age. We grew up watching the same shows. Like you might have watched a couple more girly things than I did. I might have watched a couple more boyish things than you did.
Don't be acting like you ain't watched Blossom and all that. You seen Blossom. Yeah, you did.
I don't know what Blossom is.
Yeah, you did.
What's Blossom?
Here we go. Continue. Yeah, right. Don't even play that.
Anyway, I was watching A-Team and you was watching Blossom. So see, some shit gonna separate,
no, they
right?
were different.
It was different. Like some things gonna be different. But I think it's dope, and that's when like when people say that they want to date within their race or date within their culture or date within their age, that's really where that shit comes at, where it's like you kind of want to be able to relate on more things because it get hard to relate sometimes when you got so many differences. You know what I mean? It's only so much of like, you're cool, I'm cool. If you know what I mean, if I'm 15, 20 years your senior or something like that, it's going to be just certain shit that I don't relate. Like,
right. You only have to operate in that realm of, okay, I can only be this or do this, you know?
So I think when a woman...
And then not only that, it's still tacky too, especially when older guys try to act young. It's the weirdest
like,
thing.
I really be thinking the crazy shit when I see dudes that's like 5, 10 years my senior and they dress the same way my 19-year-old son do. And it's just kind of like, what you doing? Like, I remember we saw a dude, he was like sagging his pants, he had a jersey on, had his hat cocked, and this and that. We knew he was every bit of like 45 years old. And it's like, at what point do you be like, this shit ain't for me? At what point do you grab some fucking Oxfords and a button up and say like,
One
I'm a
look
grown man.
distinguished.
Like, what are
Okay.
you doing at that point? Like, unless you like I mean, you even look at rappers. It's like them dudes start cleaning it up. Like JTI, all these cats, they start cleaning it up. So it's like, at what point do you think like this shit ain't mine no more? It's a young man's game.
Yeah.
Like with the
They
whole,
want to hold on to it though. That's the thing. We always try to hold on to things from our youth.
I don't know, man. I think one of the things is it's like it's one thing to hold on to things from your youth. Like I understand when I see old heads that wear shit from their youth. Like when you see Jordan that wearing the dad jeans and the blazer, it's like I get it. That was the style that was dope when he was young and he went back to that. But when you trying to keep up with the Jones, it's like that shit ain't for me. Like skinny, like like I
Yeah,
knew
leave it alone.
I knew that it was time to start pushing towards aging gracefully when I start wearing skinny jeans. And I'm like, ain't no way I'm about to have a yeast infection out here. Like, boys be out these skinny ass jeans on the song. And you can't even tussle in those skinny jeans. It's like, I came from the era where like some shit might jump off. Like where I grew up at, some shit might just like we grew up at, some shit might jump off at any given moment. You go to a party or whatever, you doing your thing, but you know, you could be at the skating rink, you could be at whatever, but you know, at any
Going
moment, some shit gonna
down.
jump off. You know what I'm saying? We out here. But I don't know how they do it in this era where y'all talk about chopper this and blase blah that. And it's like,
That's what it is.
Your
Stand
pants,
up, stand up and shoot sideways. Like that's the
y'all
thing.
ain't hitting nothing but the
That's
people who
thing,
ain't deserve it.
apparently. Right. That's the thing apparently.
So now I kind of understand where, like, I that's how you know that generation shifts so fast now, because now I remember looking at my like grandmother and grandfather, and my great grandparents, the ones who raised me, and that's probably a good reason why I'm so fucking old fashioned about a lot of things is because I got raised by my great grandparents, really.
And that's what I think I like about you. You were raised by your great grandparents, and you're my age, and we have a lot of similarities when it comes to the way we grew up. But then I still get that old man feel. You know what I'm saying?
I like to get that old man. I want that old thing back.
So it's like the perfect combo for me.
Yeah.
So,
Dave in the chat.
but this is not a relationship of convenience. It's hard fucking work.
Nah,
okay?
ain't nothing convenient about our
This
relationship.
is not
This
convenience. It
this is constant fucking growth.
love.
Love and
Okay.
growth. Love
Sacrifice,
and growth and sacrifice. Acceptance.
All of that shit.
Brain aneurysms.
All of it.
Love.
So that's how I ended up, before you go into the comments, that's how I ended up, realizing what relationship I was in previously. How when I looked at it, even though I felt like it was love to me, love wasn't beating me up and all that
But
stuff. That's not love.
That don't mean that it would so the things about love, right? Like it's that thing like they say, right? Like you meet, like it's that old saying that you meet 3 loves in your life, right? Mm-hmm. You meet your first love, and that's what we call puppy love, but that's love the best we know love to be, right? Mm-hmm. So it's still love.
But I knew love to be another way though.
Yeah, I get it.
You know
And then it's like you have love, and then you have the person who changed you.
Yeah.
Right? Like I think both of our ex marriages are the people who developed us into who we are, good, bad, or indifferent.
I agree. I definitely
You know what I'm
agree
saying?
with that, yeah.
So it's up like, and I will 100% always, I never say nothing bad about my ex-wife. But
I could say a ton of shit bad about mine, but I don't.
yeah, but you don't, right? Like I could say a ton of bad shit. She could say a ton of bad shit about me. She probably does, but I don't. I'm not gonna say nothing bad about her because one, that woman helped develop me and who I was, good, bad, or indifferent. She made the decisions that she made. She chose the things that she chose. She helped develop me. She really showed me the difference between like I don't think, like, one of the things is, like, I don't know if you know how much less work, and this is what I think the difference is. You have a lot less work because of my ex-wife. I have a lot more work because of your ex-husband.
Let me see. I can agree with that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like my
Because
ex-wife
it
helped
was
me grow to be
who
a
was
man.
Who was the hurtee versus the hurter? That's what it was.
I mean, you can go into pointing fingers. That's not
No,
important
but I'm
right now.
saying that's what it is, though. So
I'm feeling
you
judged.
who gave the hurt, it's gonna be, you're gonna learn a lesson to be better, and those who have been hurt, who's already better.
Hey, shout out to
They got
Tony.
worse.
Shout out to Tony the barber over there at Exclusives, man. He got me cleaned up, man. I was looking like a bum out here because we ain't trying to hear this shit. She talking.
Whatever. Anyway,
Hey, Tony,
but it's the
appreciate
truth,
you,
though.
brother.
So yeah, you can say that it's the truth, but it also depends on what side
One
of
little voice
what
is calling
side
me,
of
calling
the
me,
street
calling me.
you were on.
Man, I was in the streets.
Right.
So I wasn't in those side
I
of the street.
wasn't. So of course our experiences will be different.
All right, to the chat. My man, the Petty Savage.
Shout out to the exes that made us get our shit together.
You know what I'm saying? Thanks for helping me grow, making me who I am.
That's right.
You know what I mean? I almost feel bad that you ain't get to reap the fruits of your labor.
I got it though. It's good.
But Dave said not everybody matured and wants to level up, but want to hold on to when they were on top of doing their best. That's a fact, because like you talk to a lot of people, and I tell my sons this: don't let the best years of your life be high school. And I think like a lot of men, probably women too, but I know for sure, parents, you should think about telling your kids that. Don't let the best years of your life be high school, because kids be in high school and be thinking like, this is the pinnacle. Now you out here Al Bundy, fuck all them touchdowns you threw at Polk High, whatever. Polk High. Don't nobody want to think about that, because you know how bad. It's kind of
40 years ago, my dude.
Yeah, it's kind of like when and you know, one of the times that I really learned that is when I was in the ship, when I was like somewhere, and I met this retired chief. Probably was in the shipyard or something. I met this retired chief, and dude, he was working. He was like doing some like really mundane job, like fire watch or something, just sitting there with a fire extinguisher, something crazy like that. He was like, "Yo, you know I'm a retired Navy chief," and it's like, fuck you doing now? You the fire watch the goddamn fire. Like, you know what I'm saying? And he'll be like, you know, I'll talk to your chief and do this and that.
Why
are you on my chat? Because like it was just one of them things, and I remember
but you outranked him though anyway.
No, I didn't. I wasn't a chief then. This is when I was. This is when I was like a. You know what I mean? This is like when I was at E3. So it's like now, you know what I mean? Now being like, you know, after I made chief back when I did senior chief and everything, I always say I never be that dude. Like I never be that dude that expect people to respect me because of the rank I am.
Yeah.
And that was always a huge thing for me in the military. Is like I don't never want my respect to come from rank. Now you should respect the rank, and I got to make sure you respect the rank, good order and discipline, all that good shit. But I don't ever want people to respect me because of the rank, right? I don't want people to just be like, yo, okay, because of who you are. Because I remember what it was like to see those dudes where it's like, all right, bro, you know what I mean, whatever, and you just don't respect them. It's like when you got a supervisor. And it's up like, this dude's your supervisor. So it's like, I respect you because you're my supervisor. And it's a difference with I respect you as a man or a woman.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I always wanted to be respected.
Put the title aside, we got a problem.
Yeah, and I always wanted to be respected as a man or a woman. And I think for the most part of my career, I would say 90% of the people that have worked with me, for me, or I work for them would say, I would like to believe that they respected me for the person I am, not just, I'm going to see you in uniform and I know you're going to be able to get in my ass.
I think so based on what I've heard over the years of being with you, people who call you and tell you different things and how much you
I ain't gonna do all this right now.
All of the sub stories and stuff. It's so beautiful to know that you're that type of person that they do look up to, still respect, and you still are an asshole. However, two things can be true. So, so that's what it is. So it's good to see that.
To the chat. So he said that and then here go goddamn 5 foot of bullshit over here. You know what I'm saying? Mungie out here. He's John Mungie. You old fashioned because you old. And so is Chris. Chris is old as fuck.
How old are you, Mungie?
30 something.
Okay.
I mean, he ain't that far behind.
Hey,
but you know what I mean? It's like he a couple years behind, but he be acting like he young or something over here with the high blood pressure. Get your ass out of here. But and then Dave back, Petty Savage, he said, but when it comes to relationships, not everybody wants to put in the time and effort to get a solid, strong relationship. They expect the finished project, the product off the bat, and when it don't happen that way.
That's true, but I think so. A lot of people, he's right. A lot of people have that type of expectation.
Yeah. Do you think you see that a lot from? Do you think you see that a lot from men?
Oh, I thought you were about to say from you. I'm like, yeah, from men, yeah.
Nah, I expect progress. Move faster. Results-based organization.
Not everybody wants to put in the time and effort is what he's saying. So you ask me.
But what I'm saying is like, I mean, I feel that same way in general. Because, I mean, like we say, so you was the more emotionally mature person in most of your relationships, mostly all your relationships.
Yeah.
And then you met your equal. And was like, oh shit, now I actually got to start growing. But I already been on the growth curve. You know what I mean? I already been on the growth curve. So when it comes time to grow, it's like, I'm in the gym. You was like, what are these weights? Let me push them off my chest. What am I doing here? Because you been the, you know what I mean? You been that dude for so long. Yeah. You know what I mean? No challenges or something like that. You ain't been in the gym with growth and shit like that. I've been in the gym. Like your relationships, I think you just kind of like concreted who you were, what you want, and all that shit. But you didn't concrete like anything else in a relationship. Me, I concreted like what I need to be, what I need to do, the man that I want to be, and shit like that. I think like I did that, and that's what came out of my my last marriage or something like that. And I think like from your marriage and then to your from your last marriage to getting into like your relationships and everything like that, I feel like all of that was like, it was like some growth for kind of like finding you and developing some stuff, but I don't think you really had to do no work.
No, I wouldn't say no. I don't think I had to do work in the relationships. Like, so, you know, the first marriage was
because you was in the build a dude workshop. No. Let me go grab me one. No. Build them up.
The first marriage. The first marriage was abusive, and the relationships after that was me trying to figure out, like you said, who I am. So, and when I got into another serious relationship after that, it was more of a settling because you're safe, you know, just like you were saying.
Yeah.
Previously, like, he was a safe guy. He didn't do all that cheating. Well, I don't know now. Now I have plenty of questions now.
Cheating,
okay, but anyway.
Lies, abuse. Yeah, I never 15 years.
had to really deal with all of that in my face, I would say, you know. And But then there was a downside to it. Like, I had to be the man of the house, and I didn't like that.
You had to be more masculine.
I had to be more masculine and a provider. I was the sole provider.
Yeah.
And breadwinner for that household, and I didn't like that.
Because
I didn't mind it at first. I'm like, oh, I'm helping, I'm doing my thing, I'm da-da-da. But then after a while, it was like, because I gotta do it again.
And that comes back to the natural order of things. That comes back to the natural order of things when dealing with men and women. It's like, you can come with all that masculine energy, but I guarantee you don't want to keep it.
Yeah, no.
You don't want to keep it because everything has a balance. And before you say that, like, you think about it, like a lot of people who got jobs with it, like super overly masculine, raw, beat my chest at work, them the dudes that get off work and go hire a girl to peg them in the ass. Because it's like they operating at 150% masculinity. Yeah. Like they just that's toxic masculinity. Oh, I'm gonna go beat people up at work. I'm a correction officer. I'm a police officer. I'm in the military. I'm in a TSA. I'm in one of these positions. So
the imbalance that they have.
So that imbalance causes them to want to drop it off. So when women operate in a really masculine environment, what happens is like you're supposed to be at a certain level. Like everybody, like I got a certain level of femininity. Like you got a certain level of masculine. It's like estrogen and testosterone. But when it comes down to it, I got a lot more testosterone than you, right? So it's like I'm supposed to be at this level. You're supposed to be at that level. So if you operating on a high level on the masculine scale, you really want to turn that shit off when you come home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like when you really, you want to dump that shit off, but then it's also one of them things, but that's the muscle you exercised.
Never mind.
What?
No, I was just thinking, I was like, so I guess that's where, you know, not only that, but some of our fetishes and things like that will come from. And kinks, I would say. Yeah,
like that's a lot of times why you see like them dudes who they're like Fortune 500 company CEOs and they're police officers and they're in certain positions of authority, judges and stuff like that. That's why a lot of times they be wanting to get strapped up and pegged by some young lady out here who are dominatrix.
They want the law laid down.
They want the law laid down. And I feel like and that's why I felt like one of the only reasons of why like I ain't that I don't trip as much is because I'm not like overly ridiculous at work. Like I'm not like
Mungie, Chris, what y'all think about that? Is that true or is
no?
That
like
caparoni?
No, anybody will tell you. Like everybody who done dealt with me, anybody who knows me in the military or knows me, anybody who knew me in the military and then been out with me or hung out with me or talked to me, I'm the same person all the time. Like you don't never see nobody looking at me like, who's this new person? Like I'm the same. Like when people from work tell you like, yo, he be acting like this and that and da da da. You're like, yeah, that's my husband.
Yeah, that's just crazy ass. That's him.
Yeah, you know what it is because I'm consistently the same person all the time, and I think so. I don't really have like this. Mungie, get the fuck out of here, bro.
He said,
"This dude gonna say I'm 28." And dog years, motherfucker, 28 dog years.
Ryan Leak, what you said?
Ryan Leak said you just give him the helicopter.
What is that?
We're not doing that.
What does that mean? No, you can't make a statement like that and have an inside joke. You're not doing that, Ryan.
Hey, Ryan, bro.
Okay, Ryan said you always chill as fuck.
Yeah,
Okay.
but the thing about it is because at the end of the day, right? Like, and it comes down to that thing where I want you to respect. I always want my respect. I earn my respect, right? Like, I don't expect that shit. Like, it's a certain amount of level of respect that's given, baseline. I want your respect because of who I am, not because of my rank, not because of what I got over you. I want you to respect me for who the fuck I am.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to hold nothing over your head. I don't ever want to be that person that's like, I pay your rent, so you need to be submissive. No.
Bend it over,
Bend it over, bust it open, bust it. And like, I ain't never want to be that dude. I ain't never want to be that dude like, well, I'm a higher rank, so you have to listen to me. I make more money, so yeah, I can get you fired at a job, so you have to listen. I never wanted to be that fucking person because I feel like that person hates themselves at the end of the day. Yeah. So if it take me a little more work to earn that respect, it's fine. Some people you ain't gonna earn their respect because they don't know how to give respect because they don't respect their goddamn self. Like, you know what I mean? They born soft, but
so in a relationship, how does that transfer?
I think one of the things about it is like, so I think, you know, the difference between me is like in our relationship, I don't demand respect from you. I don't demand it. I'll command respect. I'll tell you when I feel disrespected, but I'm not about to be like, you need to fucking respect me. And no, I am this, I'm that. I don't throw that big fit. You get what I'm saying? Like, so, there go John Mungy. He's always chill. I'm the one that loses my cool because of the stupid people. Like, yeah, I'm it, man. So, and then Dave said, that's me. People swear for me at work that I'm still an officer and not a sergeant because I'm not letting a position establish the type of person I am. And that goes back to that speech I had you hear from, I can't remember, Admiral Raven from Spec Ops. Admiral Raven from Spec Ops, he got a speech.
Make your bed guy?
No, Admiral Raven is Make Your Bed. That's not the one I'm looking for. It was one of the undersecretaries of defense, the one about the styrofoam cup.
Okay, being a
And the styrofoam cup is, you know, he did the whole speech, this and that. But all you is that styrofoam cup. Like when all of this ranking shit go away, when all of this stuff I hold up, even if I hold power over you, is your man, and it's like because I pay for everything. All right, well, look at the economy. Economy collapse or some shit. I'm a real estate economy go to shit. You got to go to work now. You the breadwinner. Now what I'm holding over your head.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't respect me for the man that I am, then I got a fucking problem when I don't have this yoke on you. You know what I'm saying? Because that wasn't true respect anyway. That was almost fear-based.
Like, what you got to say
What
now?
you got to say now? Go make dinner, bitch. Like, now I'm going, eggs. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, egg sandwiches, with garlic butter.
I like my eggs fried, thank you.
Fried, and don't let that yolk be running, you son bitch.
Right. Yeah, definitely respect is,
And then I think it's kind of like, and it's easy, like, and I think from a leadership perspective, like when we was talking about leadership, I think a lot of times men don't understand that leadership is, I'm not going to say the only type of leadership or what leadership is meant to be, but for me, the most effective way of leadership is servant leadership.
Right, yeah, so that was something else I was going to ask you, like, for those people who think they're leaders in their relationship, what about it makes you a leader? What does that mean for you in your relationship?
I think, so first of all, the reason why I think that I'm a great leader in anything is because I'm a great follower. Like, from a loyalty perspective, like, you know, even if I think you wrong about some shit, I never tell, the world ain't gonna know you wrong. But when we get back in that goddamn bedroom, open the door, I'm about to be like, you fucked up. Like, you know what I mean? I'm gonna get it to you straight. And that's the same thing like with the big homie Dave at work and shit like that. Like, you know what I mean? He the next superior in line for me before the brass get involved, the officers and shit. And he know I'm gonna tell him, like, if I don't agree with some shit, if it's some stupid shit that I don't care about, this and that, he wanted, and I'm thinking like, this is kind of dumb, but it costs me nothing. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, like little wins or something like that. But he know, like, if he fucked, I'm like, I don't think that was right. I'm gonna go to him and be like, I don't think that's right. And me and him, like, if people, the crazy shit, like, people will look at our relationship and think about like how, oh man, they super cool and that's why they get this. And me and that motherfucker fuss. Like me and the big homie Dave, we will fuss about some shit, but we don't fuss about that much. It's very few things, but when we fuss, we fuss.
It's toxic.
I ain't gonna say it's toxic, but I remember it was a point where me and him was fussing about something, and I'm like, it was about an eval for one of my guys, and I'm talking about something. I'm like, I ain't giving it to him. I think the eval bullshit. This and that, da da da. He's like, well, fuck it, bring me the eval, and I do it. This and that, da. He was like, and I do it, senior chief, and I'm like, I master chief. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know what I mean? Like the respect gonna be because I'm always respected dude. But the thing is the reason why I give a fuck with that dude the long way is because I respect him as a man. So that's why he could be that's why he's also my friend, is because I respect him as a man, and I don't just respect him as like, I don't respect you because I'm gonna be real honest. I don't respect people because of their rank. I genuinely don't. Like, I'm going to respect the rank, but I don't respect you because of the rank. I respect the rank, right? Because that's my job. But I'm not gonna respect you because of your rank. Fuck you. Like, you catch me in the Walmart parking lot, I'll do your ass dirty. Like, you know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean? Is that's a dude that I respect. I respect, like, it's a man, you know what I'm saying? And I lie on the fucking stand for him. But actually, in case this ever comes up, no, I would never commit perjury because I have a family and I'm not going to give my family away. Fox, hit him with that.
Perjury.
Like, but I would not. But anyway, like, from the leadership perspective, I think one of the things is I believe that I'm a leader and a follower, and I'm a leader and a follower based on the position that I'm in. And one of the things you learn from different things like combat and everything else is, like, it don't matter about who thinks they're in charge. It's about who should be in charge. So when you work with small units and you do certain things, you learn it don't matter. You could be a fucking, like, so you don't really know the ranks, but enlisted is E1 through E9. You could be E4 and say you're the EOD person, right? You know the bombs and all this other shit. And I'm, you know what I mean? And I'm an operations guy that does a bunch of other shit. And I'm E9. It's a bomb right there. You're the best person for the fucking job. What do we do? Fox, you know what I'm saying? Like, get us through this shit. And is that trust or something like that? So I think it really just depends on what it is to be a leader and follower, right? And I think, like, a lot of times people don't understand what they want, whether they want a leader or a follower.
And maybe they don't know what they need as well, especially in a relationship.
That's because people don't know what they are. Like, people don't know what they are, right? So I know what the situation is as far as my household and what I want. I want my woman to follow me. I don't want Rami, love you too, brother. I don't want I don't want a woman. I don't need that whole shit, because it's like what a lot of times I think people don't understand what the whole leader and follower thing is. We're merging companies. Marriage is a business. Yeah, we're merging companies. So Johnson & Johnson and Heinz or something like that, which ain't a good example, but Johnson & Johnson and Tesla decide to merge companies. We ain't gonna be Johnson and Tesla. We either gonna be Johnson & Johnson or we're gonna be Tesla. So when you go into that relationship, no, that's what the fuck is gonna be. We're not coming up with a whole new name. We're going with Johnson & Johnson, or we're going with Tesla. So which one are we? If I'm Tesla and you Johnson & Johnson, or vice versa, you need to understand, at the end of the day, when we make this partnership and we make this business, if I'm Johnson & Johnson, you Tesla, do you want this company? Are you joining Johnson & Johnson? And the name of the company going to be Johnson & Johnson? Yeah, you got say so, you got this and that, but the name of the company is Johnson & Johnson? Or am I joining Tesla? I'm not joining fucking Tesla.
Why you don't want to join Tesla?
I'm not fucking doing it. Who had their last name longer?
I did.
You had your last name longer than me?
Yes, I was born.
What's your last name? What's your fucking last name? Let's think about this.
My maiden name.
No, fuck that. Our current last names right now, we have the same last name. Who had their last name longer?
You had that last name longer.
Our last name longer, because you got your last name from me. So in other words, you joined Johnson & Johnson. I ain't joined Tesla.
Anyway, it doesn't matter who joins who.
It does.
If you join, then what do you do from there, from the union? That is what's
the thing about it is the company that's supposed to lead leads, and the company that's assisting assists. That's why I tell you, at the end of the day, when I told you what, I'm the captain of the ship, you the navigator. So I don't make turns and moves and drive the ship all crazy without getting your consultant. But at the end of the day, when I make the decision to go left, you got to figure out. Don't sit here and bitch to me about why you don't want to go left. I'm going to tell you why I'm going to go left. You get your chance for a rebuttal about, well, baby, I don't think we should do this because this and that. I understand that, baby, and you're right, so we're going to go right. Or, baby, I understand that, but this is the best way to get there, this and that. With all that considered, we're still going to go left. So then at that point, you realize how good of a leader or follower you are by falling in fucking line and making left work, or being a bitch. And I'm not talking about a bitch as in the female. I'm talking about a bitch as in a shitty supporter. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or being a bitch and saying, like, well, we should have went right, so I'm just not going to help it. I'm going to let him fall on his face. The fuck?
Let your ass fall on
You want to see the shit? You want to crash? No, guess who else was on the ship? So guess what? When I crashed,
I'm on the goddamn ship, so no.
Yeah, exactly. So you on the ship, you on board. So it's like, are you going to make left work?
You realize that I was correct, though, I'm just be like,
don't
come
matter.
Let me just do it.
But
Come
at the
on.
end of the day, it's like, do you like no bullshit? Me leading you. Do you have confidence in me leading you?
I do.
You have confidence in me leading you. So sometimes, even if you don't agree, you got to be like, I got to let this process happen.
Yeah, I gotta let you happen because that's
And
the only way you learn.
Yeah, and you can say what you want, but the point of the matter is it's not about just listening to feed your ego or me just listening to you every time you say something to feed your ego. It's about me learning, making some mistakes, and understanding how to be a better leader. Because at the end of the day, I got to lead. You're not the fucking leader. So you showing about how you, that's how people get into that position of the power struggle of like, oh, I should lead. No, you shouldn't fucking, I'm leading.
But I think that if someone else in whatever your strong suits are, if that person is stronger in that area, of course, that person needs to lead in that
Yeah,
area.
and that's what I said, and that's what I said before. Like we was talking about, like when we talk about something, like we learn about something, spirituality. We started a business with healthcare. Like I told you, even with the business you want to start with healthcare, I said, I don't know enough about this. Tell me where to put money and what you need me to do. You're leading this. At no point did I tell you like, well, hold on, I got to do some research so I can know how to run this. I didn't tell you that, did I? I told you, let me know what I need to do to support you. You know what I'm saying? I'm at that point, I'm the navigator. Like, hey, Fox, I don't know if this is a good idea. And then you tell me like, boom, boom, boom. But when it comes down to the totality of the relationship, I'm leading. And it's like a thing where I expect men to lead. And then if you don't want to be led by a man as a woman, then go get you a fucking dude that's willing to be number two.
Number two, that's what it is.
Go get you a number two.
It's not number two.
It is a number two.
Talking about you as a number one and he's
Yes,
two?
that's what I'm talking about. Like when you talk about it, if you're there's
Oh,
always a number one.
two.
And there's always a number two. There ain't no two number ones. Even if you call that shit a 1A and 1B, like in basketball, you'd be like, well, Kevin Durant and Kyrie, that's a 1A and 1B. Or Kevin Durant and Steph Curry, that's a 1A and 1B.
Friends and girlfriends number two.
Sure.
You just said it, so I'm just saying that's probably a reason
But
why.
no, I was saying like if 1A, like people want to say shit like, I don't like the way it sounds. I don't like this and that. If I'm number one, you could call yourself 1B. You can call yourself number two, whatever the fuck it is. But when I make a decision, help me make this decision successful instead of fighting against me, because I already got to fight against the current. I got to fight against the nav hazards. I got to fight against the whole goddamn ocean and the hurricane that's coming. Well, I got to fight against my navigator too.
So your mistakes makes you better. What about being better? What do you think that you become better? How do you think you become better?
How do you think you become better? Let's talk. Let me hear that Fox voice. Let me hear that Fox voice.
They hear my voice. Hey, y'all. How do I think I become better? I think I become better by...
You know when people about to lie when they repeat the question.
No. Yes, no, because you got to play it out in your head, right? So I'm a visual learner, so I have to see it. So when I say it, I'm like, how do... It's written in my head, right? It's weird, but that's how I am. So anyway. Hey, Rami. So basically, I feel like I'll know when I've done better when I have to go back into that situation again, and my response is different. So
yeah.
I never pay attention to what it is that I'm going through until recently, you know? So elaborate on that. So I know exactly what you're talking about, but the people don't. I was about to.
Okay.
I was about to get all in there. Okay. So basically, we had the conversations before, especially in our relationship, of the things that you felt that I'm not doing well, right? Be it communication or whatever. So, and basically how I behave, how I act, or even with the kids, or even with whatever. So in going through therapy as well, it helped me realize like the person I am and also where I've been, which shows me how I behave now. That's why all y'all need to go therapy, so y'all can get a hold of those traumas to be a better person. But so I pay more attention now to the things that we go through, or I go through, even on my own, the way I respond to, whether it's something someone said at work, or I hear on the streets, or
on the streets. What you doing out here in the streets? You married?
Or even in the relationship, if we go through something, I'll know, and that's your true test of even whatever it is. Like even those who say, oh, I'm working on myself, I'm healing XYZ. When you're put in that situation again, how are you going to respond to it? If you respond to it in the same manner, you ain't did nothing.
Yeah, there ain't no growth.
No work, it's no growth, it's nothing. So for me, that's how I know I become better. Like with my temper, I'm a fire sign through and through. And I am very,
on God.
so I realized, okay, we're about to get into an argument. Let me not make it an argument. Let me try to be quiet and listen and see what he's saying. So that way I don't have to get defensive. He's not trying to hurt me. So let me, or even with my girls, when they say something or whatever, okay, I'm going to take it as this is what this is, but let me let you know that I don't think you should say it this way or whatever the case is, right? So I'm way slower now to get to a point where to get to a
Abuse.
point where I'm boiling over now and I'm popping off 100. I'm not like that anymore. I think I've taken a lot of time to really consider what's going on and how I'm going to behave, how I'm going to respond to this next thing before I go off and fly off the fucking handles. So that's okay.
No, not all that. There's no cap in that. You cap about a lot of shit, but it ain't that.
Whatever.
So
anyway,
Fox Kaepernick, easy.
Anyway,
I would say for me,
it's not in our blood. It's Sagittarius. We don't do that.
Sagittarius don't got nothing to do with your blood type.
Proceed.
Yeah, you saw that Fox that got beat up on the last two podcasts ago.
Proceed.
Boop, bop, boop. No, so I would say like a lot of things make you better, right? Like for instance, I feel like if you're not doing some form of therapy or self-reflection, and I noticed this a lot when I dealt with women before. It's women that say, you ask them like, why you been single? Oh, I've been working on myself. And it's like, what you working on yourself to do? And it's like, well, I went back to school and I did this and that. And it's like, oh, that's cool. But what do you want? Because to work on yourself, it depends on what your end result or your goal is, right? Like, for instance, if I want to be a marathon runner, and I'm like, I'm working on myself to get stronger. I'm lifting weights in the gym. That's not what I.
That though, it is your faults that you have. So you're working on your faults to be, but you have to first see those faults, and that's where we end up like fuck it at, because we don't want to pay attention to our faults. We don't want to see the fucked up person that we really are. We don't want to see that. Oh, we only want to blame it on the next person. Oh, they did this because that's why I did that. So right, there's no accountability. So you would have to be accountable for your actions and your part, what you did that could have went another way, but you chose not to do that. So here we go.
Yeah. So my thing is like people, you go to work on things, but what's your goal? Like, so I really think what you work on depends on what's your goal. Like, for instance, if you go into a fight, right? Like, and I used to fight MMA. So if you go into a fight, and if I got beat because of stand up, then I need to work on my stand up because I want to be a better stand up fighter. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't work on everything at the same time. You can work on a various amount of things, and you can work on more than one thing at once. But and at the end of the day, you got to focus on something, because if you focus on too many things, you're just not getting enough. You're not making enough improvement. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times people say shit, and I used to hear this a lot from women that, oh, I'm working on me. Well, what working on you mean? Well, I'm going to school and this and that, trying to get myself ready for the right man. So it's like, you think school is what? You think you wasn't educated enough? That's why your relationship ain't work? That's usually not the case.
You're running away is what
you're running away, right? Like, it's up here like, well, I'm gonna go to school. And that's one of the things that women are really good for in my past that I've seen, is that women just be like, shit ain't going good, this and that. Let me put my nose down and go to school.
Throw your ass
now,
in
school. Now I'm not knocking school, but I'm just saying is what's your goal and what you ultimately want? Because if that's all you want to be is just wildly educated, then fine. You're doing exactly what the fuck you should do. Mm-hmm. But if you're at the end of the day, what you truly want, and you got to find this for yourself, right? In your heart of hearts. If you just want to be educated, gang, go to school. If you want to find a partner, then that's not exactly your focal point. If you want to get in better shape, then school's not your focal point. If somebody who said that you are 400 fucking pounds, and that's why they decided not to be with you, a fucking PhD ain't gonna change that. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean? So you're trying to win in the wrong categories, but you got to find other areas, and you got to work on what you need to work on, right? So for me, what I understood when I was working on myself is when my biggest thing is that, like, growing up, my way of getting in there was to be everything you needed me to be. So I meet a woman, and it was just like you said, the same shit you said about don't tell people what you are. Don't tell people this, that, and the third. Don't give them the blueprint. Because I was the motherfucker. If you gave me the blueprint, I'd be everything you need me to be. 100%. It's like, oh, you want this, you want that? Action.
Let me get them cheeks.
Let me get them cheeks, though. You know what I'm saying? So I'd be all of that. So when I really started to understand that, it's like I done bailed out of a lot of relationships younger because of a trauma perspective. I done bailed out a lot of relationships younger because of a trauma perspective, because I didn't want to live up to other people's expectations. I didn't want to not live up to other people's expectations, because I done felt so many times where I done took it onto myself. About like, hey, I'm not, you know what I mean? We're just different traumas and this, that, and the third. I done felt some type of way. I don't know what you over here doing on this. What is you doing, Fox? But anyway, I didn't want to do I didn't want to not live up to people's expectations. I always had all these issues. I always had all of these, like, I didn't want to come up short, right? Like, one of them things, like, as a kid, I wanted to always, like, appease my grandfather before he died. And that's the only man I ever cared to impress. So when that shifted from I didn't care what men think about me, it started shifting into what women think about me, right? And then it always came down to I had that complex from when I was a kid. I had that one time when they accused me of stealing something at school. I was at Madison Avenue. Yeah, and they accused me of stealing something at school. I didn't steal it. And then they kept me there, and they kept questioning me. And I just wanted to go home. So I told them I did it. And I got treated like shit because I admitted to it, and all I wanted to do was go home. I was just a dumbass kid that wanted to go home. I'm a project kid. I'm from Prince. You know what I mean? I just want to go home. And then when they said that, I hated that. And I said, I'll never fucking ever let somebody – if you hate me, fine. You can fucking hate me because people going to hate me, but you're not going to hate me for some shit I didn't do.
Yeah, admitting shit, yeah.
You're not going to hate me for some shit I didn't do. You can hate me for whatever the fuck I did, and I try and clarify myself or whatever, but you're not going to hate me for some shit I didn't do. So I always, and that became like a trauma response of like, I always want to go and prove myself right. So I ain't know a lot of times when I was being gaslit. I didn't know a lot of times when somebody could figure that out, they could smell that weakness and then be like, oh, let me accuse him of something. And then he gonna ride it out trying to be fucking, like you call me, rescue ranger. You know what I'm saying? They gonna ride.
Chip and Dale.
I'm not rescue rangering with you. But you know what I mean? So when I really realized the difference for me is when I accepted that and I nutted up. Like when I wasn't, like in the beginning, I was everything you wanted me to be. Then you saw my flaws. And then when I decided not to run when you saw my flaws.
I still loved you.
Yeah. That wasn't enough to make me stay, but it was.
But I still loved you. I'm just telling you.
It was a huge influence.
You, so
I don't care what you felt like now. You love me now, Mrs. Jackson.
I still love you.
But I like getting that time and really understanding like, oh, okay, cool. I want to stay in this long enough. Like just let it be what it is, because I was so afraid of not be in control of the outcome of my life, because I spent so much time not in control of the outcome of my life that it's like I have to manipulate the cards. I don't want these dice to roll this way. I need loaded dice. I don't want the game to go this way. I got to sell something for less or do this and that. I got to have a gimmick. I got to have something.
What are you selling for less? What?
This ain't Get Indicted Hotline. This ain't Get Indicted Hotline, so I ain't even about to entertain your bullshit. But with all of that, and that came with understanding and learning like, damn, all right, I have to be able to accept me and where I am. Like, and that's why I get to the point where you say the shit when, like, I tell you, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, throw a suit on me, I think I'm a solid 6. And you're like, oh, baby, you more than that. That's fine. I appreciate your opinion. You should have a high opinion of me. You married me. You'd be stupid not to. But me, I feel as though the realistic opinion, like my grandfather told me, I'm not as good as I think I am. I'm not as bad as everybody say as bad as everyone says I am. So for me, the real growth for me in making myself better was realizing, understanding the man that I am and actually standing in my truth. Not being like becoming the man that I say I am. And that's what came. Like I did what a lot of times that like I will shit on a woman for doing is I used to use words. I used to use reality to describe words instead of use words to describe reality, meaning I was up there, I was projecting who I want to be and not being that person. And then it's like the more and more of the core that I got back to the person that I really am and paid attention to that gave me the strength to be like, yo, move forward. And that's when I felt like I got better.
It was something in what you said to me when we were just dating. You don't even know what I'm gonna say.
I know exactly what you're gonna say.
No, you don't.
Want to put it back?
No, because you're gonna say yes if you don't know.
No, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it.
Somebody.
I'm gonna say it.
Okay, go.
Don't take my word for it.
Nope, wrong.
Hold on.
It's wrong.
It's like, don't take my word for it.
No.
Give me a chance to prove to you that I'm the man that I'm saying.
No.
Okay, well I'm fucking wrong. Well then we got your answer. I'm wrong. All right.
How much was bet?
Nothing. You ain't bet on it. I will give you rent. I will give you rent money.
Whatever. You better
it's paid
anyway. All right. So anyway,
I bought a dog some vegetables.
You did.
Yeah, I cooked dinner tonight.
All right. Whatever. You did too. Anyway, what I was going to say was it was something that he said and I paid attention to, which made me start to kind of inadvertently work on him working on himself, especially with his truths, right? And it was, we were in casual conversation. We were out, and he said, I can manipulate a situation to be whatever I want it to be, you know? And I was like, I thought about that. So I never told you that either. That didn't sit well with me. It didn't sit well with me at all.
You marry me.
Yeah, but it was another, aside from all that love stuff, it was more like, oh yeah? Well, what you think this about to be then? Nothing of the sort, you know? So that
But I cracked cheeks?
So it was you didn't crack cheeks when you wanted to crack cheeks, I bet you that. So
what you mean? I cracked cheeks exactly when I wanted to crack cheeks.
No, you didn't.
Well, you think I wanted to crack cheeks before then?
Yes, you did. Of course you did.
Boy,
you want to crack cheeks when you saw my picture. That's what you wanted to crack cheeks when.
No, I didn't.
So it was one of those things where I was like, oh, like, no, that's not how you need to be. So you got a problem with truths. And so we're going to try to bring that up at you, you know? And so that's why a lot of times I remain patient because I know that that's something that you dealt with, or that you dealt with in the past that nobody has ever made you feel like you had to confront.
Well, I'm glad you did because that is something that you have helped me confront. I ain't gonna cap. That's something that you have helped me confront, and here we are with the growth. But the crazy shit about that is, it's like at any time, and a lot of people that we done dealt with before, and it's the crazy shit about when somebody asks you like, how you know it was the right person, and I could come up with a lot of dope words to say, a lot of cute shit to say, but you just don't fucking know until things get spinning because like when we first met, like actually when we first met, not like when we first started talking, but when we first like met, went on a date, went to a little Japanese spot and drank bullshit ass sake from a bullshit ass place. That was 3 minutes away from your house and you're still fucking late for a noon date. But all of that is like, all of that considered, it's like we had a dope ass time. Mm-hmm. And then we had dope times. Every time we went out, it was dope. We never had an issue until we had an issue. Then we had an issue, and then it was like, boom, gone. And then
you ghosted me.
I ain't ghost
you. You did ghost me.
I ain't ghost you. No, it was straightforward. I ain't fucking with you. But
you did not say that anyway.
Okay, say it how you want to say it. Say it how you want to say it.
Fucking cap.
Say it how you want to say it. But when you ask me about, can we? No.
That's cap. You cap. You
did not cap.
Say that. You did not say that.
Go ahead. Let your ego talk.
You did not say that. It's not my ego.
What I say?
You did not talk.
What I say, baby?
I mean, you did not say that.
Why you rubbing your leg?
I rub my leg every podcast.
I rub your leg for you.
Anyway, we're not doing this on camera. Okay?
I rub your leg. They can't even see me rubbing your leg. It's always the time.
Anyway,
we podcasting from our house. Like we ain't that goddamn studio.
Almost 15 in. What's up?
Yeah. So anyway, but I learned a lot from it, and it's another thing where I appreciate the growth that you gave me and that solidarity and growth, like the man that I am and everything else. A lot of that is contributed by you through the fucking love and chaos that you bring into my life.
It's like I'm life. That's right. You said the key word, life. You have a balance, positive, negative. Make that goddamn yin yang. That's me. I love you. To your head.
When you see me blink 3 times, that man I need help.
No. No. Anyway, so gun to your head. Would you rather know the amount of times you lied and the effect it caused for each and every time you lied?
Gang, gang.
Or know the amount of times you made the wrong decisions that could have made you successful?
Oh, fuck that. The amount of decisions I could have made to make me successful. Because at the end of the day, it's like the first one gives me guilt. It gives me guilt, and it's nothing I could change, and it's literally setting the seeds for remorse. But the latter of the two, that's giving me
Guilt?
game. No, it's not giving me guilt. It's giving me a way to be like, oh, that's why I fucked up. Because like when you revamp, you attack something, you like, I'm gonna do this business strategy, this, that, da da da, blase, blase, blah. This is how I want to do this strategy. This is what I want to implement. This is the plan that I have forth. When I find out the decision that I made to fuck that up, now I'm like, oh, so the rest of that was right. It wasn't all this shit that this dude told me that like, oh, you got to do this with your business and you got to put your 401k into this and you got to do the crypto stocks and do all this other shit. No, it's because I just fucked up and hired the wrong manager, or I fucked up and hired the wrong web producer or something like that. So for me, the most beneficial thing out of that, hands down, is letting me know how I fucked up success. Okay. Because what I'm going to do is the lies that I made don't matter. I lied to a lot of fucking women. It don't matter now.
So it don't matter for you now. You don't know how that affected.
I don't give a shit. What I'm saying is,
the number of times you lie and the effect it caused.
Okay, what am I going to go do about that?
Not only that, you got to think too. What caused your karma for certain things that happen in your life?
Cool. But the point of the matter is the only thing that gives me something tangible to change in my life is to know why I didn't succeed at things. Knowing how I hurt girl A, knowing what it caused girl A to do when she became a heroin addict or whatever, this and that. That shit.
Give yourself that much credit, okay? You're never as good as you think you are.
I got that Baltimore love thing. But no, what I'm saying is like none of that shit's gonna do anything for me but cause guilt. It's like that causes guilt. Learning where I failed at and where I could have succeeded at, that is some guilt with that, but it's a learning experience. I can grow from that. What am I growing from really by learning like I did all of this bad shit? And it's like, well, I won't do this bad shit. I'm already not doing the bad shit. I done did the work to become a better man now. Like look at the relationship between me and my wife. I done became the man that I need to be, and I'm still
becoming.
And I'm still continuing to grow. I'm continuing to grow to be the man that I need to be. They didn't see you punch me 19 times on this podcast. I'm continuing to become the man that I need to be. So all of that shit, all of that other shit, what is it going to gain me to know that? I know that, and then what's that going to be? Oh, I feel sorry. Let me be more meek. Let me be more remorseful. Fuck that. If I got to choose between the two, I would love to know that. Love to know the people that I lied to and how I hurt them and what it did. But when you compare that shit to the mistakes I've made to be successful at businesses, to make my gun business better, to make new businesses that we're going to do better, to make every risk that I took to understand why I failed so that I could do better next time to provide for my family. Fuck all that bullshit. Right now, I still got to provide for my family. I ain't got to say sorry to a whole bunch of motherfuckers that hate me. Keep making your subliminal ass posts on fucking Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, whatever about when people think this and you're lonely. Shut up. I'm not.
For me, I would do the opposite, and it's because I think that I think I'm a little bit more spiritually inclined than you are, and I feel like that is what matters.
Sounds like broke.
Being here, well, maybe shit. But that's how I feel. So I want to know those times that I've lied to somebody and how it affected them.
But you don't really lie.
Not really much, because I was just about to say, which ain't really much, but the ones that I did lie to.
How many times you lied to me?
I'm in my head. I'm like, who did I lie to? But if I was a liar, I would want to know how my lie affected them. And I also want to know, because I do want to be a better person, because I think that's what we're here for, soul growth, not amassing all these fortunes and whatever.
This is the thing. This is the thing about it. I have grown a lot because of the people I've surrounded myself with. That's going to happen. I haven't gotten but so successful because of the people I grown myself around with. Like a lot of my success, not to knock anybody. Like I've got a lot of leadership in this, that, and the third, but the success of the level I'm at, which isn't like wildly successful in the material terms of life, I done got to that way on myself. So guess what? Becoming more successful gives me more times to reflect and figure that shit out. Like all you do is find out what I did wrong and how it affected people. It's not going to tell me where I went wrong. You're actually giving me a fucking answer. You're giving me a problem on a former. You know what I mean? You're giving me a problem, what I did and what it caused. That's a problem.
Well, you know what
on the latter,
when you're lying.
Yeah, what I'm saying is you're telling me what I did. I lied and it caused this person to do what? This is the effect of my lie. So you're telling me the problem. But the thing is like when you come down to telling me what I should have did for success. You're giving me the answer to what I did wrong. That's an answer. On one hand, you give me a problem.
Oh, gotcha.
On the other hand, you give me an answer. How many times in life do you actually get a fucking answer?
You don't get the answers.
You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at, where it's like, give me the fucking answer. This shit, tell me, that's all I do. My whole life has been problem solving. So all people do is just tell me what the problem is. This is what the problem is. This is what the problem is. Fuck that. Tell me what the answer is. Give me a freebie.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at with that.
Okay, I see that. I feel that. Okay. I feel it.
We still staying there, though, on your spirituality. Gang, gang.
Well, you guys, you already know what time it is. Thank you for sitting with us in Uncle Legend's Corner. Again, we appreciate your support. So if you have anything you want to add to the podcast, if you want to be a guest on the podcast, hit us up, askunclelegend@gmail.com. Please stick around for after the show.
Peace. I did Fox hair.
Yeah.
Sounding real ungrateful right now.
That's my bedtime. No, I feel good today. Hey y'all. What's up? What's going on? After the show, you already know what time it is. What y'all got going on? What's
After
going on
the
in the
show,
room?
it's the after party, and after the party, it's the hotel lobby.
No, it's none of that. It's going to bed because I've been sick for the past day. I slept for a whole day.
But who step up to make sure that they baby I ain't don't got to worry about everything?
You did. You fed the dogs. You got the food done. All of that.
Did you have to ask me?
Nope. I like not having
Because
to
I
ask.
love you.
Love language. That was our next topic, but we were way over time.
So
y'all best in the
she a
chat.
gold
What's up?
digger. Work way over time. It's all right with me.
All right. Y'all in the chat. I don't feel good today. I faked it till I made it today.
Yeah, gang. I'm surprised Fox still
right.
here, so.
So you got 5 seconds to say what you gonna say, and let us have an interaction. Or I am gaunt. 3, 2,